Hey there, comedy lovers. Welcome back to another episode of Culinary Chaos, where the kitchen is my stage and laughter is the main ingredient. Today, I'm diving headfirst into the world of French cuisine with a twist. We're taking a classic dish and giving it a modern and somewhat unconventional makeover. Get ready for some laughs as I attempt to cook gratin dauphinois in, wait for it, a pressure cooker. Yes, you heard that right. We're about to blend tradition with innovation in the most hilarious way possible. Yeah, you heard me right. Strap in, this is gonna be a wild ride. If you think French cooking is all about finesse and precision, well, you're in for a surprise. So, the first thing I did was gather my ingredients. I felt like a contestant on a cooking show, ready to impress the judges with my culinary prowess. Potatoes, cream, garlic, cheese, all the good stuff. These are the building blocks of a delicious gratin dauphinois, or so I hoped. I was feeling pretty confident. I mean, how hard could slicing potatoes be? I envisioned myself slicing through them like a pro chef. Spoiler alert, harder than it looks. My knife skills were put to the test, and let's just say the potatoes had a mind of their own. Imagine a scene straight out of a slapstick comedy where the potatoes are flying everywhere but the cutting board. It was like they were auditioning for a circus act. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I had my potatoes ready. They were sliced, albeit unevenly, but ready for the next step. Next step, layering them in the pressure cooker. Now this is where things started to get interesting. I felt like an artist arranging a masterpiece. I poured in the cream, sprinkled the cheese, added garlic, and felt like a culinary genius. The aroma was already making my mouth water. Little did I know, I was setting the stage for a dairy disaster. The pressure cooker was about to become a ticking time bomb of cheesy goodness. As I sealed the pressure cooker, I couldn't help but feel a twinge of anxiety. Would this be a culinary triumph or a kitchen catastrophe? Would I end up with a delicious French delight or a kitchen catastrophe? The suspense was killing me, but there was no turning back now. I set the timer, crossed my fingers, and waited. The kitchen was filled with a tense silence, broken only by the ticking of the timer, and waited, and waited. Time seemed to stretch on forever as I imagined all the possible outcomes. Finally, it was time for the big reveal. My heart was pounding as I approached the pressure cooker, ready to unveil my creation. I opened the pressure cooker with the anticipation of a kid on Christmas morning, and boom! The moment of truth had arrived. Hot, bubbly, cheesy goodness exploded everywhere. It was like a dairy volcano had erupted in my kitchen, all over me, the countertop, the walls, you name it. My kitchen looked like a war zone of cheese and cream. I looked like I just lost a food fight with a pot of fondue. It was a mess, but a hilarious one at that. But hey, this is comedy, right? Sometimes the best laughs come from the biggest messes. I scraped together what I could and took a bite. Despite the chaos, I was determined to taste my creation. And you know what? It was actually pretty good. The flavors were all there, even if the presentation was a bit unconventional. Not picture perfect, but definitely edible. Sometimes taste trumps appearance, and this was one of those times. I guess you could say it was a semi-successful mess. A delicious disaster, if you will. So, the moral of the story? Sometimes the best culinary adventures are the ones that don't go according to plan. Cooking gratin dauphinois in a pressure cooker might not be the most traditional method, but it sure makes for a good laugh. And who knows, you might just discover a new favorite way to cook it. And maybe, just maybe, a delicious dish if you're brave enough to try it. After all, cooking is all about experimentation and having fun. Thanks for joining me in this culinary comedy of errors. I hope you had as much fun watching as I did cooking. If you enjoyed the chaos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Your support means the world to me and keeps the kitchen antics coming. Who knows what kitchen calamity I'll tackle next? Stay tuned for more laughs, more messes, and maybe even some culinary successes. Until then, happy cooking and stay funny. Remember, the best recipes are the ones that come with a side of laughter.